Okay, I got here an AEG Lavamat with a bad drum bearing. You notice that when machine is spinning at high RPM, the bearing is extremely noisy, and you can actually hear it knocking. So I have already taken the back cover off. You can tell here where the bearing is. You see all that brown stuff. Rust, that's water leaking because the seal has failed around the bearing. Water running down onto the motor. And since I've taken the belt off, you can now really hear that bad bearing. So I am going to show you what it takes to replace that bearing. So perhaps if you want to do it yourself, it helps you, or you just get kind of basic information what it's involved to replace that part and why it is so expensive when you take it to a shop and have it done. Usually when a bearing like that is failed, a machine is condemned for the scrap. So the lid is taken off already on the back. Now I have to take the top off. It is here done with Phillips screws. Phillips screws there. And then we go further. So the top is removed. Now what I have to do is remove this front panel here. So it appears I have to take that off first. That here. So it appears I have to remove them. Okay, let's try to get this off. Looks like this can stay. Just remove them. There's a clip there. And I got to remove them. I remove this plate after all to make things easier. Instead of pulling the wires off, I'm going to leave all the wires on that. So I'm going to remove that door lock. It's easiest way. Here you got these two. Remove them. Then we have sufficient slack to move all that. Not going to detach any wires. Leave everything the way it is. So that came nicely out of our way. Now we got these guys to take care of. Got to move this as well. There's something here and there, and who knows where else. Going to find out. And then we get to this thing. Around the seal, a little metal wire, and there's somewhere a spring. In that case it is down here. And we're just going to pop that out. Just like that. And we can remove the rubber seal. Like that. It took a bit of force to get that plastic piece off. I had to pry in between there with a screwdriver. As you can see, these are plastic clips really holding it, and those two screws that were in there. And then we have to remove that on the other side, and that whole panel should come off. And now we have to get the drum out. So what that involves now is I have to split the drum housing. Got a whole bunch of these going all the way around. Detach that hose there. Detach that hose from the pump. And then all these screws around here. And then we should be able to split the job housing. Now before I take the last one out, the piece I have to take out the shock mounts. Probably just tap them out. Yeah, they just tap out like that. Pull them from here. Should use a better plier. It's kind of hard of getting in here. Right, that's what that little thing looks like. Of course, both of them, but I do that when I have this off. So everything is removed, the hose, the shock or damper, all the screws except that one. Take that out now. And it's coming apart already. Sometimes it needs a little love tap, but that comes apart easily. So that's on half. And that's solder. It is just hanging in there because of the weight of the motor. And you get your heating element here. It doesn't look terrible for an old machine. You have to get this pulley off. That's a size 17. To put something in there to stop it from spinning. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Do it just like that. Now you can hear the part bearing. Check it out. So I wonder how easy it is to get that pulley off. It's loose. There's a special puller for it, I don't have it. Sometimes you have to use two levers and pry it gently out like that. It's coming along nicely like that. Just after all, it is just plastic nowadays, not metal or alu that corrodes and sticks. There we have it. This will be some kind of a shim. I'll let you have a closer look. Probably has to go. I might need a little prying. Yeah, it's coming there. There we have it. Just kind of a shim or washer thing. Now that bearing actually looks pretty decent, but it's the front one that has failed. It's usually the case. got to pull the drum out. Sometimes you get lucky and you can get to pull it. Other times you have to tap it here. But whatever you do, don't hit it with a hammer now. Ask me how I know. Because if you hit it with the hammer, you end up flattening that, and then you won't be able to put your screw back in again. I learned that from experience. Now if that did happen to you, or you won't be able to fit that back in there again, you can either try a thread chaser or tapping tool, or do what I did. Took a drill bit much larger than this, and I just went gently in just on the front corner with the drill, just, you know, breaking the corner, creating kind of a small chamfer, and that worked fine for me. What I do is this: I get another one of these, I just tap them in there, like so, a little bit more. And now I got an area where I can hit that thing with the hammer. So let's just try that now. Grabbing that drum so it doesn't go flying anywhere. Don't overdo it with tightening it unless you really have to. It's going. It's going. Now get an extension bar of some kind and tap it further. It might be a good idea if you have a second person holding the drum, so when it drops out it doesn't hit the heating element. I think I got it now. Oh, and that's the drum now. The shaft, and that's where the seal rides on. My guess is that has failed. Water gotten into the front bearing here. That caused it to corrode and fail. Seen much worse, that's not too bad. Okay. Now I get to take the seal out and then carefully knock out the bearings. I think just a very sharp screwdriver in there, and then you should be able to pry it out. So that seal is sticking in there pretty good. So I'm going to knock that bearing from the other side out. That will also knock that seal out then. Using that rod and a hammer. Just going to walk my way around like that. Again, good idea to have a second person holding that thing. Well, I think she's going. There's that seal. Now we get to the bearing. That's the bearing. There it is. There it is, so I can see what has gotten into it. Little damage there. Well, I've seen a much worse bearing. Much worse. Okay. One more from this side. And that is actually still pretty decent bearing. Just the front one is gone very bad. So I just clean all that, at least most of that gunk out of there. And we can throw in the new bearing. Now these are the new bearings. They are pre-looped from the manufacturer, but I always like to give them just another coat of heavy duty engine oil. I soak them in oil for something like 24 hours because they seemed a little dry. Maybe if you buy original parts they are better lubricated. These are just the really cheap ones. Paid something like 30 euros for a set, bearings and seal, so it's a very cheap repair. So let's just pop these new bearings in there. I'll be using an old bearing to tap that one in there. Why? I can show you here. If I do this and hit that bearing, I won't be damaging the new bearing. Just some very gentle taps. Again, second person holding that thing, that would be convenient. Now I do have to use my rod for the last bit. I just be careful where I hit. Very careful. That's in there. Everything's fine. So, bearing I bought nicely in there. I got my seal. Got the seal here, and what I notice is that lip here is meant to be on the outside. So the seal goes in like that. Not like that, like that. I'm going to put a little bit of Vaseline on that, or you can also use silicone paste, a little bit silicone, just so it slides in easier. And especially I have to put something around here, because when you switch on the washing machine the first time, this is dry. It is possible that it heats up when the drum starts spinning because it isn't wet yet. Doesn't see any moisture or soap from the washing powder, and it can damage it. So that's why a little bit of silicone or Vaseline around there, and then just put that in there. So that's in there, that's all good. Now I got to go and clean that, and I also have to put some Vaseline or silicone paste around here, silicone grease or whatever you want to call it, just like that. And we drop that drum back in again. Right, so drum's back in again. We can take that guy out. Put the pulley back on again. Remember that guy, don't forget that. Get in there a bit tight. That's in there. Now the pulley. and that one. I'm sure there's a torque spec for it, but I'm just going to tighten it until it feels right. But you shouldn't overdo it, because remember, this is plastic. You don't wanna split it or anything like that, but we don't want it too loose. Now there's just some cable interfering here, that's very nice. Get off my way there. Tell you a little more in a moment, just again. Perfect. Right. So on there properly. I just tighten it from experience until it feels right. Yeah, that feels good. Might be a good idea to check it in again after some running in time. You only have to remove the rear cover. Before I put the drum housing back together again, there's a seal that you actually meant to replace. That one looks actually pretty decent. I don't think you need to do anything with it, but I am going to put a little bit of silicone sealant around it, just a tiny amount. Okay, that's basically it. I just thought I'd show you what it takes and how I do it. If you want to try to do it yourself. Washing machines are all different, but the basic principles are all the same again. And yeah, okay. I'm going to put it back together again. It's just basically the same as I've done, just in reverse. Okay.